Of Philly, where the birds take flight. Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
Finally, at the same place at the same time. What's going on, everybody?
Finally.
What is good, my guy?
My guy. First and foremost, obviously, how are you doing, Marcus? Hope you're doing well, my man. You know I love you.
It's all good.
I gotta apologize to the people, Marcus.
No, you don't.
I feel like I have done them a disservice. For the, and man, you talk behind the scenes and look, life happens. You and I both know we have day jobs, right?
Life be life, man.
And life be life, man. Trust me, you and I know it all too well. But I still feel like at the end of the day, we expect people to support us, right? We got to understand that there's an expectation for us to show up every week, and things happen.
Yes,
like legit. Things happen. I'm not going to act like we just disappeared on y'all. No, real things happen. But I love y'all so much. I feel the need to just make sure and acknowledge the lack of our presence, brother. Because we, in my humble opinion, I think that we occupy a very unique space.
For sure.
Not many people can say, at least speaking from my perspective, right? Not many people can say they do a show with a former NFL pro, a former Canadian Football League pro, a former War League pro. I mean, everybody can say they do a show with an all-time leading rusher. You get what I'm saying? Not many people can say that. So I consider it a blessing to be here, brother. So,
I appreciate that. Just like talking good. I've taken on this new moniker now where I have to make a point to say, like, we grown folks. We can talk like grown folks do, because what I see is a lot of the conversations now bleed over from Twitter and Instagram, and it gets a little toxic and it gets a little immature. So I'm trying to make a conscious effort to tell people, like, listen, you do not have to agree with me. Your approval of my opinion is not required. However, if you have a rebuttal, if you have something different, if you have a difference of opinion, you can state your case. Be ready to back it up and be ready to talk about it like grown folks. Too much nowadays is if I don't agree with you, now all the adjectives start. Oh, you a clown, they immediately go to calling you names. And I'm like, then it was never about a conversation in the first place.
Yeah.
One of my guys, I got to get him back on. He was a Cowboys fan, and I went on his show. And one of the things he said, man, he said, I like you, man. He said, because I don't like the Eagles, but I like listening to you talk about the Eagles because you're not trying to jam it down anybody's throat. I'm like, it is what it is. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. I'm an Eagles fan, but I can be critical, and I can criticize, and I can cut them down when they, play like trash. But there are people that don't and won't. And it's all Eagles everything, all Dallas everything, regardless of what you see. I don't operate like that. My lessons were, in high school when I had 120 yards and 2 touchdowns and player of the game. we watch film session and the coach only runs back your mistake 4, 5, and 6 times. So regardless of what you did well, you could always be better. So I come up, that's an old school tenement, as opposed to, like we were talking about early, we are in the era, we are one generation past the era of everybody gets a trophy. So now everybody feels they got to say something. Everybody feels they deserve to be heard. And while that's true, sometimes, in my opinion, everybody don't deserve to be heard because everybody ain't got something decent to say. Some people got something to say just so they can say, I had something to say. And that makes absolutely no sense.
I gotta agree.
But when you're in these internet streets, you can operate and you can say what you want to say with impunity. Can't nobody check you. So there's no filter, there's no gate, there's nothing for people to reel people back in, because let's be real, 95% of the stuff that people say online, you couldn't say to somebody face to face.
Yeah, and I don't know. I come from a different school where if you say something egregious or not even egregious, right? If you say something disrespectful, let's just keep it in that box, right? Because sometimes people say stuff that you don't agree with, whatever. But if you're disrespectful, right? If you're wishing ill on a person, I come from a time where you better be prepared to see that person.
Facts.
Be prepared to see, because as a matter of fact, you're going to have to see him. You had to go outside, different era, different time. You got to go outside. You got to go to school the next day.
So watch what you say.
Like I grew up where you can get punched in the mouth talking wrong about the right person. Does that make sense?
Yes, you got the right one today.
So again, right? I take our opportunity. I take this platform. I don't take it lightly, and I love our approach to it. I love our approach to it, and I think overall, we handle everything with respect. And unfortunately, we're in a time where respect is being manipulated or morphed into coddling someone. Just because I'm respecting someone, that doesn't mean I'm coddling them.
Right. You have to be aware, and regardless of what your opinion is, a lot of people, if they don't agree with your opinion, the first thing they want to do is they just want to find a bunch of people who don't agree with you as well. Then they want to change the narrative because they're with a group of people that will put that particular point of view on a megaphone. So, and heck, even watch this. Back when we was growing up, woke meant just be aware of your surroundings.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I literally saw a clip from Jamie Kennedy recently. And
like the comedian Jamie Kennedy?
The comedian Jamie Kennedy. I don't know how old or recent or whatever it is the clip is, but he was on Fox News, and I'm not sure. Again, I don't watch Fox News. I don't know what show. I don't know what show he was on. I don't know. I saw a clip with Jamie Kennedy, the classic comedian. If you know who Jamie Kennedy is, and you grew up watching the Jamie Kennedy experience, and when he used to do practical jokes on people, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, used to come on WB, I think. But nonetheless, Jamie Kennedy, he was saying that there was a time where like, hey, woke meant be aware. Be aware. Don't let the man get the best of you. Now it's become something else, right? Like it's interesting because just respecting Jalen Hurts' success, right? Just to bring it full circle, just being aware of Jalen Hurts' success and what he's done, what he's been able to accomplish, just being respectful of what Jalen Hurts has done in this league and throughout his football career. It seems like that's a challenge for people. Just to simply respect a man's path and his ability to maximize it. Yes. Right? Because at the end of the day, you don't control where you're drafted. You don't control your roster as a player, right? You have a responsibility to make whatever that GM did that season work. Or
Yes.
coach / GM. You know, some people got both titles. But you have a responsibility as the franchise quarterback or any quarterback that's going to be the start of that season to make the most of this opportunity. And every GM's goal is to create the best opportunity for their respective organization. That's what every GM is trying to do, right? Every GM is trying to build what Seattle did.
Right.
Every GM is trying to build what the Eagles did. Every GM is trying to build what the Rams did or what the Patriots have done in the past, and I'm talking Super Bowl champions, right? I ain't talking about the most recent Patriots. I'm mentioning champions, right? Because when you become the champion, everyone's studying you now,
right?
And I just think, you know, when it comes to Jalen Hurts, all he's ever done, he hasn't asked for your respect, but what he's done is never cheat the game,
right?
And you know, when it was recently released that he made the NFL Top 100, if you guys don't know, Jalen Hurts recently was named to the NFL Top 100. He was ranked 56th. I think last year he was in the top 20, if I'm not mistaken. Going into the 2025 season. An NFL MVP will boost that for you for sure. But he's coming off of what some believe one of his lesser seasons and still made the NFL Top 100, his 4th consecutive year making it. And some took it as an opportunity to say, shout out to Jalen Hurts, you know, still making the cut. People still respect him in his league, players that is, right?
Right.
But then some people took it as an opportunity to be like, 56, he shouldn't even be in the top 200 or whatever it may be, right? And obviously it comes on the heels of the quarterback rankings that came out via executive scouts through ESPN and all that kind of stuff. And it's just Jalen Hurts has become a very easy or low-hanging fruit conversation to me.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on him making the NFL Top 100 and his place?
I saw it. A bunch of people posted the graphic. That's as far as I went with it. I feel the same way about making the top 100 as I do when they rank him, you know, 17th on the QB list. I don't care because it has no bearing on what happens when the season starts. The ranking has no bearing on whether our offensive line blocks better this year. It has no bearing on what Makai Lemon is going to do. It has no bearing on what Dontavian Wicks is going to end up with. So it can be good, bad, or indifferent. I don't care because they are useless. They are, by definition, they are clickbait because there's no substance behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Because we will be the first one to tell somebody, don't talk about last year. I don't hear what you did last year. Last year don't matter anymore. This is a brand new year. They told us that quick after we won the Super Bowl. What you gonna do next? How you gonna follow it up? Are y'all gonna repeat? Blah, blah, blah. So this is a results-based business. What have you done for me lately?
Mm-hmm.
And that never stops. So every time they come up with these lists, they making a list based on what happened in the past. Doesn't matter. Not to mention, just the way the game goes, every list is useless anyway because every team is one play away from glory or ruin. If the wrong person on the wrong team goes down, that's a wrap. I remember that game we played against 2 years ago. Jalen Hurts, he broke a tackle. I want to say it was against LA. He broke a tackle, and I thought he broke his knee. It was in LA.
I know what you're talking about. That was in
LA.
That was in 2022.
Yes.
No, 2023. I lied.
2023.
That was the 2023 season. He broke the tackle, and when he planted,
it looked ugly.
I saw his body do the craziest.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what word to use, but
it didn't look right.
That man knee hit the brakes.
It didn't look right. And when he like, I was nervous. I was like, this is going to be one of them injuries where did nobody really touch him, which are the worst ones. And he came through it. Nothing happened of it. It was all good. But to me, that's just like you're one play away.
Here's the thing, right? Isn't it fascinating that like this list? So I want to kind of approach it from the parallels of the two lists I mentioned, right? You know, the ESPN one where isn't it, hold on, I'm sorry. Isn't it annoying when, like, and shout out to my mom, my lady deaf mom. My mom texted me just now. She said, "Hey, can you talk?" I said, "Live streaming. Call you after." What you think she did next?
Called you?
Called me. Like, what are we doing? Hey, mom, I love you, but you got to slow down. All right.
My mom does
read.
the same thing, except my mom will call me at work, and I'll be like in a meeting or on a conference call, and I'll like, "Mama can't talk. I'm on a conference call," and then she'll go on and start to tell me what she want to tell me anyway. So I understand.
And my mom is my homie. That's one of my best friends. My mom is dope like that. But I said I'm gonna call you after. Anyway,
long as it ain't emergency, you good.
Long as it ain't emergency. And look, I'm in Texas. I can't do shit.
Exactly.
with all due respect. But you know, when you think about that ESPN list that was executives, scouts, coaches, Jalen Hurts, 17th best quarterback in the league. Not even top half of the league. Damn. Then a players list comes and he's ranked
very different.
56th on the list, and he's ahead of all the guys they claimed was better than him. Now, there's one quarterback below Jalen Hurts that I just think is egregious. But I mean, granted, I think making the top 100 list is remarkable in and of itself, but Lamar Jackson fell to 69. And I'm like, all right,
come on
y'all,
now.
relax. Like, y'all,
stop playing.
Come on. So you definitely got to take these lists with a grain of salt. But I just think it's funny how executives, scouts, and coaches view Jalen Hurts versus his peers who actually have to lace up and play against him because they got to make the decisions every single down on how to play him.
You can't even say a grain of salt no more, man, because it's like grain of salt, man. This is like you get blood pressure listening to this stuff, man. It's ridiculous.
Well, you're right.
It's not to me. It's not even worth it.
They turn a grain of salt into a mountain, into a pillar. You feel me?
It's crazy. So I actively try not to watch them. Like I'll look at the graphic and see what the graphics say. But if it's an article or something behind it, I don't listen to it. I don't watch the TV. I don't, all these executives and media heads, all the people that get paid to be the smartest people in the room but aren't. Those are the people that are making these preseason lists. And it's like I said, it's all about clickbait. It's all to bring traffic. They know right now, Jalen Hurts is the one topic you can talk about. And if you bash Jalen Hurts, you're going to get a lot of traffic. You're going to get a lot of people talking about, why would you do that? Jalen Hurts, they know the conversation starts up, and that's why they do it. Period. So I know how the sausage is made. I'm good. Wait, now if you want to talk trash or criticize when the season starts, now we got something to talk about. Now we can have a conversation. But until that happens, miss me with all of that. That to me, the lists are for the people that don't watch football. All they do is watch highlights. Even when they watch the games, they don't watch the games. And that's what this social media landscape has done. Everything is quick. Everything is add water and shake. Nobody wants to do homework. Nobody wants to vet information. None of that. None of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you get what you get.
Ultimately, yeah, you get what you get, and we're just in a new time in sports talk where accuracy or fairness, or just common sense isn't what gets you paid anymore. And we're going to talk a little bit in deeper detail about that later on. To put a button on the topic, Jalen Hurts. Again, this is his fourth consecutive season making NFL top 100. Entering the 2023 season, he was ranked number 3. That was coming off of his what many call his best season of his career statistically. Entering the 2024 season, he was 15th. That's coming off of the heels of the way that season went in 2023. But many will argue Jalen Hurts' best passing season from a statistical standpoint. I mean, if you want to look at the yards and touchdowns, maybe, but the interceptions, I beg to differ. But then entering the 2025 season, he was number 19, and entering 2026, he's now 56. So big drop, but ultimately it doesn't mean anything once the games start. At the end of the day, you got to show up. Congratulations to Jalen Hurts for making NFL top 100. He is a top 60 player, a top 56 player in this league. And I think you'll be hard pressed to find a quarterback who knows how to win football games as much as he does. Do with that what you will. So keeping it on the Eagles for now, I want to talk about the good brother, Saquon Barkley.
Yes.
And word came out, news broke a couple of days ago, that Saquon Barkley's home, his family's home, was the subject of, or the victim of, a home invasion, an attempted home invasion. According to articles, one person did get into the home, but nothing was taken. Nobody was hurt. Thank God. You don't wish that on anybody. And you know, it's one thing to throw eggs at somebody's house and run. That's one thing. To break in, go inside, you know, like a legit home invasion. You know, now we're entering a whole other territory. And his family was home. He was home. I think the only person who wasn't home was his oldest daughter, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but man, when you heard that story about Saquon Barkley, about his home and the nature of it, what's some of the thoughts that were going through your mind?
Well, the first thing I thought of was Damar Hamlin. Because that's the first time.
Say more.
Do you remember when Damar Hamlin happened? I believe I got this correct. I believe my timing is correct. When Damar Hamlin happened, that was the first time I remember hearing multiple houses getting broken into. And that lets you know that whoever these thieves are coordinating with the schedule and all of that type of stuff. And because it was like 3 or 4 houses that got broken into.
Joe Burrow's house got broken into. His is one of them.
And so, to be honest with you, I'm surprised it hadn't happened sooner. Well, technically it did, because we can always go back to Fletcher Cox.
That was
he picked the right one that day.
That was a slightly different situation.
It don't matter. You talking about stupid people.
No. Right. We talk about stupid people at the end of the day, but the motivation is also a part of that, you know.
True that.
You know what I'm saying? You know, if you looking for your baby girl and you can't find your girl, and come to find out she chilling with that guy. You mean Super Bowl champion?
Yeah, she getting shenanigans, bro.
She getting folded like a lawn chair.
She getting shenanigans.
she getting the shenanigans.
So, but that was the first time I remember hearing about that, and I was like, oh, okay. These thieves are trying to get smart, and they wait until the away games, or when the game is going on, because they only need 20 minutes going into the house or whatever. So, let me be honest with you, man. I said this the other day on my stream. I said, I'm giving away free game. If you are out there and you are a former police officer, if you are former military and you got military training, I was like, here's your business. You're welcome. You're welcome. Armed home guard. I will be at your house, patrolling your property when you're at this game, that game. Dude, that's easy money nowadays. Easy money nowadays. And the way people are acting, and you just got to get to it's a weird dynamic, man, because not to get too far in the weeds, but you see stuff like this happening, but at the other end of it, you see people complaining about the flock cameras and all of that type of stuff. For those of you who don't keep in touch or keep up with all the technology stuff, flock cameras they look like traffic cameras, but they're black. They're these big black cameras on these poles with a solar unit for power. And they got them everywhere. And what they do is they got a network that can track where you were if you go by one of these flock cameras. And I'm saying that because with all of these break-ins and just with all of the crime in general, that leads you to, hey, we need something that can deter, which everybody's going to look at the flock cameras. A big story the other day was in Philly. Philly is one of the cities that have really taken into using drones. But here's the problem. And you know, I kind of pride myself on being a nerd on this one because if you look at what was the big story with World Cup, what's the big story in NFL football? What do those two things have in common? Not NFL football, but I'm sorry, but Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball and World Cup. The two big things that they have in common. The World Cup, they got the VARs, the video review.
Oh, yeah. And MLB also has, like, don't they now have the automatic
They got the strikes. They got the balls and strikes, right? But the technology is exactly the same. They have some type of chip either in the ball or they got enough cameras where they can track it.
Well,
soccer,
that's standard, right? Like, isn't that kind of what happens technology-wise? Technology typically trickles down.
Yes.
In terms of access and how it's applied.
But watch this. Watch this. So the VARs unit, you got the microchip in the ball. I saw the documentary on how to make the ball. The microchip is in the ball now.
Damn.
And the microchip is synced with all of the cameras in the stadium.
Hold on, wait. My conspiracy brain just shot like crazy. So you mean to tell me those baseballs that they using in MLB, they got the chip inside, right?
I don't know about the
because here's my thing, right?
The baseballs because but the technology still works whether you got the chip in it or not. But let me finish this.
Yeah, please.
You got all of the cameras, right? AI stitches all of those views together, which lets you get that real-time matrix where they still running and the camera goes around and you can see the front of the athlete, or they can pan around to the other side and you can get a better angle of should have been the ball, should have been the strike. They put the box up. It's the same technology. Basically, what you have is all of those cameras at any venue, AI stitches it together. And what's the problem with AI? Everybody named mama in every town in America is bitching about data centers.
Yes.
It's all connected. So what you're going to end up having, back to the crime, is with all of these flock cameras and all of these security cameras, you got an AI database that can take all of those cameras, stitch everything together, and tell you where you were at a certain time on a certain night with a very reasonable area of confirmation.
Wow. No, the reason I said my conspiracy brain started going a little bit because I'm thinking about, all right, if those chips are in the baseballs, right?
Yes.
And then you happen to catch a home run or a foul ball, they tracking you now. They know where you live. I'm just saying, like you got a homing device in your pocket now. Like you got an air tag in your crib sitting in a glass box. Just saying, man.
Yeah, they do not have the chips in the baseballs, but they do use they do use sensors in the stadium.
Okay.
So they just skipped a step. They can get more accurate with the soccer ball because everything is in sync and they can tell which person was closest to the ball, that type of stuff. But it's basically the same tech.
Hey, listen, Saquon, lock your doors, hide your kids, hide your wife. I guess, like, just to take the seriousness off of it a little bit. I'm trying to think what's the first sound they heard that let them know somebody's in our house. I'm trying to think what's the first sound they heard.
It wasn't a door.
He said it wasn't the door.
Couldn't have been the door.
Oh man.
Unless it was in a situation where I don't know what his house is, how it's made up. Was they all in the basement? Were they all in the TV room?
That's a good point. And you know,
and they broke in upstairs. Did the person breaking in realize that people were home? Maybe all the cars were in the garage. I don't know. I don't know why somebody would be that bold unless they were breaking in to actually have a home invasion, taking people hostage and all of that type of stuff. But
exactly. I think home invasions are probably the most dangerous crime you could commit. You do not know what's on the other side of that door, bro. You don't. And we in 2026.
You know that wasn't no tale he made up. You know that was a real situation in that Biggie song. So there's
right
at the end of the day, man, there's always somebody out there. There's always somebody watching what you do. They know who you are. They follow you. That's why, like these days, if I was with the Eagles now, you couldn't pay me to go to a club. You would have to pay me to go. Yeah, and then I would have to be in a reserved area,
insulated.
With security, because folks are crazy, and there's too many ways that people are trying to get paid off you. Whether somebody coming in to get a illicit picture, trying to make it look like it's a certain thing, and now once again, the way people don't do their homework, it's too easy to go jump into AI and create something and make it look a certain way. And even if it's found out to be fake, the way the court of public opinion is now, sometimes it don't even matter when the truth come out. That's the scary part.
I hate the fact that I can't even trust a picture anymore. I can't, it is frustrating. But listen, you're making that kind of money, man. You're always gonna be a target no matter what you do.
You're always gonna be a target, bro.
Gotta do the best you can to try to mitigate that. And I'm thinking about, the NBA, the NHL, MLB. I know they're looking at the NFL like, man, we got to find a way to take these guys out. We got to find a way to we got to do a home invasion on these NFL motherfuckers. we got to rob the NFL, because how does the NFL outpace the NBA, NHL, and MLB combined in revenue? Now, granted, it's not the hardest thing to believe, but it's like that's the NBA and the MLB and NHL need to band together, put some ski mask on, and do a home invasion on Roger Goodell and them boys, because
here's something funny.
They whacking us right now.
Here's something funny, and most people, it might seem like it's out of left field, but it's not. In my opinion, you know who was one of the biggest reasons why the NFL blew up the way that it did? Keenan Ivory Wayans.
The halftime show.
The halftime show. That year that he had the halftime show, had everybody turn from Fox or whatever channel it was on to Fox to watch in living color for the halftime show, then turn back to the game. You remember what happened the very next year?
Michael Jackson.
He
wasn't playing.
And ever since then, it's gotten higher and higher and higher. And the Super Bowl is worldwide now.
I kind of respect the NFL for not hiding their hand about it. Like,
absolutely.
I respect the NFL saying, wait, what? Oh, hell no. Hey, go get Mike. We ain't playing with these boys over here.
Exactly.
I respect the game. I respect it.
Let me raise my hand. I was there. I was one of the first. We were the first test market for overseas football. The World League, that's why they started it. They wanted internet. We were the second iteration of the World League, not the first. We were the second iteration. But the second iteration hit a little bit harder because we had the cities right. We had London, and we had Frankfurt, and we had Amsterdam, and we had Barcelona. They wasn't stupid. They went, what are the best football countries? What are the best soccer countries? England,
field test,
Netherlands, Barcelona, Spain. Germany. And let me tell you something. Germany, number one, they love American culture. They know how to party. Like, they know how to party for real.
Mm-hmm.
Beer gardens and all of that type of stuff. They know how to handle themselves. They know what to do when they drunk. Like all of that is covered. They know how to throw a party, and they welcomed you had guys fighting to go to play for Germany, fighting to play for Frankfurt, because Frankfurt was where you wanted to be. That was the city. It was always popping. Jump on the Autobahn. All of the cabs was Mercedes and all of that type of stuff, man. And every time you played a game, the crowd was packed. So the NFL knew what they doing, and now you look at it now, same cities, London, Frankfurt, Netherlands, they playing across the world. It's getting bigger. It's not gonna ever catch soccer. It's not gonna ever do that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, just that context, NFL made $14.5 billion in revenue from last season. That's more than the NBA, NHL, and MLB combined. That $14.5 billion is compiled through all 32 teams' revenue.
Yeah.
Every team made north of $450 million.
Yep.
And I think that's the bigger topic, that little nugget. Every team, just listen to that sentence and let it sink in just for a split second. Every NFL team made north of $450 million. You're telling me the Philadelphia Eagles, or I'm sorry, you're telling me the Cleveland Browns made as much revenue as the Philadelphia Eagles. You're telling me the Los Angeles Chargers or the Tennessee Titans made as much as the Philadelphia Eagles or the Dallas Cowboys or even the Kansas City Chiefs. When you fortify your league to that degree, where your worst team can make as much as your best team, I don't know if there's a league that has built an infrastructure like that. And also, to take it a step further, it also speaks to the theory that I have, and I'm sure many people, maybe it's not profound, but there are fans of all 32 teams in every city and so on and so forth, and I want to remind all those fans, your favorite organization doesn't care about winning as much as you think when the check is always clearing. Yeah, absolutely. I need people to understand, and this is why I love Jalen Hurts and what the Eagles do and what they've built. And at the end of the day, say what you want about him, say what you want about the Philadelphia Eagles fans, the organization, whatever it may be. At the end of the day, Jeffrey Lurie know he's gonna get his money. You know what he do? I want to win football games. Yeah. I don't just care about being a rich owner. I care about being a rich and respected owner. I care about when I walk in the room, y'all clear the fucking way. I care about that. I care about being uncommon amongst uncommon folk. Shout out to David Goggins. And when you have a league, and again, credit to the NFL, credit to the infrastructure, but to know that the Cleveland Browns made as much money as the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm sure there's so much more interest in details into as to why that's possible, but the fact that it's possible, I would have a problem with that if I'm a fan of a team that's clearly showing me they don't care about winning. Because how do you incentivize? How do you create parity? And is parity the word I want to use? But how do you got to look at it like this, man. What did the Oracle say in the Matrix? What do all men with power want? More power. It's the same thing with money. Why do you think the salary cap goes up every year? Because they make more money, and they can. If the salary cap is going up, that means the endorsement, the cost of a 30-second commercial during the NFL game is one thing. The cost of a 30-second commercial during the NFL playoffs is another thing. The cost of a 30-second commercial in the Super Bowl is ridiculous, right? But somebody always pays. And going back to the international stuff for a minute,
Watch those international games and look in the stands. Rarely will you see jerseys in the majority of the teams that are actually playing. Over there, they buy whatever they can get their hands on. If the Eagles are playing the Rams, you're going to see a whole bunch of Raiders jerseys. You're going to see Browns jerseys. You're going to see Cowboys jerseys. You're going to see Steelers jerseys. They buy whatever they can get their hands on. They don't care. They don't have allegiance to a team yet. They just glad to be there. So in that case, everybody gets paid because everybody's jerseys is selling. So that's the one benefit right now of overseas, because we haven't been over there, or we haven't, in my opinion, we haven't made a big enough impact where people would want to be loyal to a certain team. Now, I'm surprised that the damn NFL ain't thought of this yet. How come they don't have a version of their uniforms that would mimic Sheffield Wednesday, Arsenal, Man United, all of those teams over there that they do follow? So it's serious over there. I used to collect the goalie jerseys, the goalie sweaters when I was in the World League, because I liked, they were big, they were ugly, but I thought they were cool. And I had on a Glasgow Rangers jersey sweater. I was going out with the fellas. We was going to the TGI Fridays down the street from where we stayed in Glasgow. And the dude at the front desk stopped me. He said, might not be a good idea to wear that out tonight. And of course, ego kicks in, like, bro, like, come on, you ain't gonna tell me I can't wear it. He was like, just had a game tonight. We didn't win. So the locals are pretty pissed that Glasgow lost to whoever it was or whatever. So long story short, I listened to the locals and took it off and put something else on. Sure enough, we walking down to the spot. I passed about a group of about 15, 20 people drunk out of their mind, cussing up a storm, mad at Glasgow because they lost or whatever the situation was. And I'm telling you, if I'd have had that jersey on, it was going to be a problem, and I was outnumbered.
It's a different thing overseas when it comes
different over there, bro.
Because your allegiance to your favorite team, and this goes back to what we talked about, and I'm glad it's because this takes into our next topic, the World Cup, coming to an end. Very entertaining. Spain won it all, but when you think about international soccer, like international football, right? And compared to American football, and just tribalism in sports, because tribalism exists in sports everywhere, but there's levels to it. And when you're in America, you have such a bevy of options to entertain you. You can always cut the TV off and say, you know what, these guys suck today. I'm going out. Or I'm flipping the channel. Or, you know what, man, I'm not watching these guys this year, whatever it is. It's a different thing, right? When you have options. Yeah. When you come from those other countries, and I'm not just talking international support for their country. I'm talking about the leagues, and then the specific teams, like the UK, there's like 3 or 4 different leagues. There's the Premier League, and then there's the European Football League. Like it's and then teams get relegated if they don't do well. Like there's so much into it, right? And the team you support isn't just, oh, I like their colors. The team you support is cultural. It's traditional. It's familial. It's tribal. It's deeper than just, oh, I like the colors and that's why I like this team. It's deeper than just, oh, this is my dad's favorite team. And it's like, no. I support Arsenal because in 1968, on this date, my father and my mother, and then on top of that, it's so much deeper than just supporting a team. That's why there are certain fan bases in select sports that do mimic that international or soccer energy, right? A team that I think that is close to it, and I say close, I mean distant close, because soccer is still soccer. Like Eagles fans, like there's a passion in the city that permeates and you feel it. But it's with all due respect to my Eagles fans, that Manchester City, Manchester United beef is different than that Eagles Cowboys beef.
Man,
It's
you
not
was
the
on
same thing. It's not the same thing.
Listen, when I had the opportunity to go to a real soccer game, and this was the local club. We didn't go to like a big one of them teams like in the Premier League or whatever. This was like a local club. It wasn't a lot of people there, but the experience was still mind-blowing to me. They didn't the stadium didn't have seats. It was all risers, so everybody was standing up. And let me tell you something. You hear it on television, but until you experience it in person, the chants, bro, that's next level stuff. The chants that they do when you got a whole stadium of about 80,000 plus doing them things. I was in the stadium and we had maybe 15, 20, maybe that many. And the chants would still reverberate through you. So when you in a stadium with 70, 80, 100 plus thousand people and they all doing them chants in it, man, it is a physical feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't play over there. We'll never get to that level over here. We are like that locally with our teams, but we that's only in certain cities. You're not going to see that level of fandom in LA at SoFi.
Never.
You're not going to see that level of fandom down in Arizona
or in Miami.
But
it's so bad in Miami.
Yes.
It's so bad that when you go to a Miami Heat game, people don't show up until halftime.
Yeah, but Miami is the same way LA is.
That's my point, right? It's
ain't nobody from there.
It's nobody from there, and there's so many other things to do.
So many other things to do, so many other cultures. Plus, you out there, if you're looking at Miami, you got the big Latino community, you got the Cubano community. So different strokes for different folks.
Mm-hmm.
LA is worse. Because hell, LA, you still got a bunch of people mad that the Raiders ain't there no more. So it's all around the world. But for every LA, you got Philly and you got New York and you got Chicago.
You got Kansas City.
You got KC. You got Dallas. And heck, Dallas is close enough to Houston, and Houston love their Oilers or they Texans. So Washington love their Skins or their Commanders. So we still have regionally, we still have that level of loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
But nationwide, in the big scheme of things, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't. We can't touch what they're doing in Europe.
Which is
why you think Argentina going through all this mess right now? They deserve it, but
yeah,
you get what you get. And when people know your history, and now that stuff starts coming. I didn't realize Messi had been to like 7 World Cups and only won one.
Yeah, literally. I mean, they're not easy to win, and they come very far in between. Few and far, like it's not many opportunities to get a crack at it. So for a guy like him to have gone in so many, yeah. But you know, when you think about the NFL coming out with that article, or just that they're just releasing that data that they earned $14.5 billion, and the headline adding that they outpaced NBA, NHL, MLB combined.
Yeah,
I think the NFL paid for that. I think the NFL paid for that headline too, because
I wouldn't doubt it. Because
at the end of the day, with the World Cup ending, right, and you think about how much revenue they made overall, and then the viewership, right? I looked up, you know, Super Bowl ratings versus World Cup ratings, and obviously we know it's not going to be a comparison, but just to see the metrics is fascinating to me. And it says globally, the FIFA World Cup final significantly outdraws, and it's only the final, by the way, I'm talking about. The FIFA World Cup final significantly outdraws the Super Bowl, reaching an average live audience of over 500 million and over 1.5 billion total viewers. In contrast, the Super Bowl averages around 123 to 126 viewers annually, making it the supreme annual broadcast within the U.S. So we talked about this offline, right? with everything coming out with the World Cup and the metrics and all that kind of stuff, and just how much
Right.
it monopolized everything in the United States. And I mean, I did a little bit of traveling, these past several weeks. For Father's Day, I went to Dallas. I got to see what the World Cup was doing in that city because there was a game being played, I think, at AT&T. So I got to see specifically just what the streets was looking like at that time, early World Cup. I mean, I'm talking like early knockout stages, I think. They got the games being projected on skyscrapers all across the city. Never seen that for the Super Bowl. I was in Philly this past weekend. And the World Cup final was going on at the time, and still it's jumping. So it's like, the NFL, it's always a pissing contest, and NFL is a very egotistical brand.
Very.
So it's to be expected for them to say, hey, by the
I
way,
think it's
Americans,
funny.
don't forget how your bread is buttered.
I think it's funny that they want to make that big of a statement because now they see the big king in town and there's nothing they can do about it. Nothing. They will never. We won't see nothing like that again for a long time because the way folks acted over here, and without getting into the politics of it, y'all know what happened and who showed up and all of that type of stuff, who made calls so somebody could play, all of that type of stuff. It might be a long time before the World Cup ever comes to the States again.
Yeah. Obviously the locations for the World Cup are already determined. We're talking decades in advance, like at least because they come every 4 years. So when you think about from that perspective, through the next 3 World Cups are going to be over the span of 12 years. Those 3 locations are already set.
Yep.
And obviously you don't foreshadow who the president's going to be. And who knows, man? Who knows? But I got a question for you. Because with the World Cup, right, the conversation of U.S. soccer and its farm system came up. It's been going. It happens every time they lose in the World Cup. It's like clockwork.
Oh, and by the way, I will be doing content on Premier League soccer in the future. Absolutely. Too many good athletes, man.
Yo, we'll talk. That's separate conversation. Separate show. We'll get into that. I'm beyond. Dog. Obviously, he's become a favorite, a fan favorite since being brought to the international stage, or the World Cup stage. But Erling Haaland,
yeah, I love him.
Or Lamine Yamal.
Lamine is ridiculous. Dude, they just passed the baton like it ain't nobody's business. I'm
just seeing how these guys are moving, and I'm like, damn. But again,
Haaland is nasty. He is nasty.
He's a freak. He's a freak.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I seen some footage where he was kind of just like, just
walking.
I don't want to say lollygagging, but kind of just walking a little bit.
No. You know who got that from? You know where they got that from? That's what Messi does. Messi walks around the play and he just waits till it's his time to go. Then he goes.
You just see his burst. But what stands out to me about Erling is like not just the sheer athleticism at that size, but when you see him explode, like when you see him like hit that his fast twitch muscles are off the charts.
Dude, he is ridiculous, man. And he's 6'5".
When people try to tackle him, they bounce off of him.
I was trying to think of what's a good NFL comp for him. And the 2 people I came up with was either Gronk or Megatron.
Ooh, interesting. He's 6, like he's like 6'5", weigh 215, 220. He lean, he just lean.
Yeah.
I heard that he's like over 6,000 calories a day, and it's crazy. Crazy work. And he's been getting the comparison to Majin Buu, and I see it.
Yo, did you see the video that they did of him?
No, what video?
It was one of them artistic things on Instagram, and they took the Majin Buu and made it look like Erling Haaland.
Yo,
Gave him the ponytail and the.
But Majin Buu looks like that. Like there's no like there, you know, because
big ass square ass eyebrows. Yeah,
because Buu got multiple forms. You know what I'm saying? So like he looks just like Super Buu. It's not even funny. Everything about him, his demeanor, he looks like Super Buu. It's not. It's crazy. But my question that I got away from, this is a soccer, a football talk, and it's also transitioned into a little bit of a basketball talk. Because you know the conversation of U.S. soccer becoming inaccessible, has become a talking point, and you know some people believe it's become the rich, the sport of privilege in the States, right? Yeah. Like soccer,
very similar
like,
to lacrosse.
Yeah, like lacrosse, tennis, those sports. There's so many reasons why the U.S. soccer farm system is what it is. I've seen so many great points being made about it, and I don't think there's a singular reason. So I'm not going to try to legislate that or debate that. But I have a question in as it pertains to basketball, because you know there was a point in time where basketball was kind of like, you know, they were finding stars off the blacktop in Dykeman, like in the hood. Like you seeing, like there was a point where high school teams, like you got seen on your high school team, like people were watching high school, people were locked in on high school players, and guys were getting drafted out of high school and so on and so forth. And you know you were seeing more black players from inner cities. Now the league has NBA in particular it's kind of become this U.S. soccer thing where most of the guys who make it to the league, or most of the guys who have access to the best opportunities, the best coaches, the best resources, are the guys who can afford to travel for these AAU teams.
Yes.
And most of the kids are biracial. So you're seeing an evolution of the way the players, not just how they look, but you're seeing an evolution in how players are found, how talent is being cultivated and nurtured. And I guess my question is basketball becoming a rich person's sport in relation to making it to the top level?
Yes. And the football is too, because look at NIL. Now you got grown men entering college. You're not playing. You don't want to draft a team with high school players anymore, where you can get somebody that's already 20, 21, 22 years old. So there's that. And then, like we were saying, you know, before we got on the air, are you hungry or do you want something to eat? If you're hungry, you find a way. You do what you gotta. If you want something to eat, that means you just come home, go in the cabinet, and see what you would like to pull out. There's a difference. There's a difference between somebody that's hungry. That's the guy that'll get up at 6 a.m, 4 days a week, work out for 2 hours, and still go to school on time and do what they got to do, and then go to practice after school, and then go home, wake up, and do it again. That's the difference.
And because basketball is such a finesse sport, I personally feel like I feel like basketball is such a finesse sport. I feel like you can hide a player much easier than you can hide a player coming up in football ranks. Because I feel like at the end of the day, when it comes to football, I don't care how talented you are, can you survive the beating that comes with the sport? It's like for football, no matter what background you come from, it's going to wean out the weak no matter what.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
Okay, break it down because again, I'm open to be schooled on this, because I feel like basketball, they complain about the league being so soft, right? And it's just like, and the sport is such a finesse sport. You can get through without being held accountable as much as in football, in my opinion, because so many people depend on you in football to do your job.
At the end of the day, it's about your talent. It's about your talent, and it's about the opportunities where you go, who's watching, that sort of thing. There is a measure of luck to it. There is a measure of luck,
because I'm still seeing guys from the hood make it to the NFL, inner city Florida, like you know what I mean, like Florida, like gutter guys from Jacksonville, guys from Gwinnett County, and it just seems like it seems like in the NFL you can still find those guys from the way, the guys who didn't come up with much. In the NBA, it seems like there's less of those guys.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but it has a way of filtering itself out.
Okay.
Because I'll give you an example. I'm going to mention two names I was friends with and played against both of them in high school. You ever heard of Derek Reed?
Derek Reed.
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
Baseball player. He was the best player on our team. I believe he got drafted out of high school. He got drafted by, I cannot remember. I want to say the White Sox, but it wasn't the White Sox. He got drafted out of high school. You know who the second player was? Ken Griffey Jr.
Damn. Shit. Well,
Ken Griffey Jr. And my point is, they both got drafted out of high school. You heard of one and you didn't hear of the other. But both were supremely talented. Ken Griffey Jr., you knew. Derek Reed, we knew, because this dude was a lefty. He was knocking the ball out the park. He was thin. He was fast. He had a great arm because he played in the outfield. He was that dude. Then you get to a point where this is where luck comes in. What team do you go to? Are you in single A, triple A? Wherever level you are you getting the opportunities? Are people watching you? That's where the luck comes in. Are you just a numbers game? Like, did you go to a different team and the coach was an idiot? Stuff like that happens. So it has a way of filtering it out. The NBA is a little bit different because the NBA did capitalize on the European market. Once Tony Parker happened and Tony Kukoc happened, the gates were open.
Mm-hmm.
Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Tony Kukoc,
Peja Stojakovic. Listen,
Peja
I don't care. No, Stojakovic was a hood favorite. I'm telling you that right now.
From what's the name? Your boy from the Dallas Mavericks, the 7-footer.
Oh, Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, he was the one.
But what Tony Parker did was Tony Parker came over from France and let everybody in Europe know we can play with these dudes. Peja did the same thing, but it wasn't there yet. I remember playing with Peja in one of the first NBA 2K games on the Sega Genesis.
Remember the 2K where you had to line up the arches into a Dreamcast? On Dreamcast, you had to line it up so it would be green, and then you got to.
Dude, this was before then. We talking like 93, 94.
Peja Stojakovic. Listen, if you know, you know. Sacramento Kings, Peja Stojakovic was a hood favorite. If you know, you know. Everybody in the hood.
That joke could shoot from the stands.
Yeah,
and nail it. But
shout out to Andre Kirilenko.
Slowly but surely, you saw more and more European players coming over and balling, and that's when the 3-ball took off. How long was it until you watching basketball? How long was it until Steph Curry happened? And Steph Curry didn't happen when he first got in the league. That took a couple of years.
Yeah, it took a few years. Yeah, because when he first came in, he was dealing with ankle issues.
Absolutely. Before you got to him, you still had nobody seen anybody do things like Jason Williams, White Chocolate. Did nobody see that? Not from a guy like him.
Mm-hmm.
So you had it was sprinkled in. You can have somebody like Magic Johnson and also have somebody like Muggsy Bogues. Could Muggsy Bogues make it to the league this day and age? Probably not.
Yeah, he would have to. He would have to be more. He would have to be more unique than he was then.
Well, exactly. He could have he could have the same amount, if not more, skill, but because he would only be 5'4" or 5'5" or whatever,
he's a liability no matter what.
Nobody would give him the time of day.
It's a reason why Isaiah Thomas. It's a reason why the Isaiah Thomas, and I'm not talking about Detroit Isaiah Thomas. I'm talking about Boston Isaiah Thomas. It's a reason why the Isaiah Thomas experience only lasted but so long. And there was a moment where Isaiah Thomas was talked about as like being one of the best guards in the league, and he was doing it.
Yeah.
Like nobody could ever mistake Isaiah Thomas for not knowing how to play basketball. He was carrying Boston before Jason Tatum. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely.
You feel me? So, but a guy eventually teams, it's effective until it's no longer effective, and people just
Nate Robinson.
Eventually, the league decides. We're no longer going after players this size anymore. Now, and you would think, obviously, Magic Johnson was the prototype. He was the first to really, really like change how people expect guards to look.
Absolutely.
And then there was a dead period because Magic Johnson was such one of one at that time. You don't see nothing like that. A guy that size that can move like that and move the ball around the court like that. You don't see guys like that, right?
Right.
But then the league had to catch up to a guy like that.
Well, they caught up to him, and then Jordan happened.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is like from a point guard perspective, point guards traditionally are your smaller guards, the ball handling, all that kind of stuff. They're not really your scorers. The point guard went through an evolution, and now you'll be hard pressed to find a point guard 6'1". You're gonna people looking for those tweeners, so 6'5", 6'6" point guards who can. You know what? Teams want a LaMelo Ball, not in terms of mentality or even his play style, but just the size coupled with the length, the skill, and the position. That's a dream for a team.
I agree with you. Look at what they said about Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is 6'2".
Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie. I know Becky Hammond ultimately ended up being wrong about Jalen Brunson, but I don't think her take was built on the fallacy at all.
No.
But like you said, and how we started the show, no one cares about really having the nuanced conversation. They care about the hot moment. They care about saying, "Hey, you were wrong. Apologize." It's like,
yeah.
Well, no.
They're looking for the status quo. We had Magic. Then Michael Jordan brought in the athletic era of basketball because you had Michael Jordan, and then you had Dominique Wilkins, and then you had Vince Carter, all of those guys that could dunk 35 million different ways. Now, don't nobody want to watch a dunk contest because they've seen all the best dunks that could ever be done.
And there's only so much you can do with the human body and dunking the football.
There's only it's not even fun no more.
Yeah.
So and then after that, then we get to the 90s and then Allen Iverson happened with the crossover. That changed the game again. Then you had all the short, quick guards that could do all of this work. Then you had, and then you forget that's what folks was looking for. Whatever happened to Harold Miner, baby Jordan, he got that moniker and it was like, nah, that was not good business for you. So, but it just changed everything, man. And then LeBron happens, and nobody had ever seen LeBron. And the best thing about LeBron was, and I had never seen it before from this standpoint, I'd never seen somebody come out of high school and dominate the way he did, straight out of high school. Darius Miles couldn't do it. Kevin Garnett didn't do it. I never saw Wilt Chamberlain play. But Wilt Chamberlain played in college, I believe, for at least a year or something like that. I could be mistaken. My history is a little sketchy from Wilt's undergrad stuff. But I'd never seen somebody like LeBron come out from high school and just immediately dominate. DeJuan Wagner spent a year at Memphis. So it just changed everything. You don't have LaMelo Ball if LeBron doesn't happen.
Yeah, and you don't have LeBron without Magic Johnson doing what he did. So
absolutely,
because I compare LeBron's skill set more so to Magic than I would Michael. That's just my. But anyway, It's funny you bring up LeBron because obviously the LeBron free agency thing is still looming.
Man, I'm tired of LeBron, man. Make your decision and let's go, man. Damn.
Did you hear what Adam Silver said? He said,
No, I did not.
he said, yo, he's holding. He said, I wish he hurried up. He's holding us up. We're trying to make the schedule. And then like LeBron finds out what he said and he talks about it, all that kind of stuff. But it's like, yo, like that is power at the end of the day. But at the same time, make your decision, my guy.
Yeah, man.
On the side note,
enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Where do you think it ends up?
I think I hope he comes here, but I think he'll end up in Miami again.
Wow, interesting. I think he ends up in Philadelphia. That's not just the fandom. That's not just wishful thinking. I just think if he's making a basketball decision, that's the one to make. There's no team in it. He's not playing for another West team. That's a guarantee. What team on the East allows him to coast through the season the way he would like to, and then unlock in the playoffs? There's no team built like the Sixers right now and can afford him the same luxuries that the Sixers can afford him.
And that's why a small part of me thinks that's why he won't come here, because it makes too much sense.
It makes too much sense.
It makes too much sense. And guys like LeBron, as great as he is, they always got to be complicated. Like him and AJ Brown need to get together and go bowling.
That's funny.
Like, dude, just stop with it ain't got to be this cryptic. Just make the decision and go on. You ain't trying to raise money for Disney again, or dude, just say what you got to say and let's keep it moving. We still gonna like you, or we still gonna hate you. What your decision is not gonna change anybody's mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, I don't come to grips with the situation of what we do on social media, because at the end of the day, 95% of the topics that we talk about, my point of view, my perspective, my opinion is not going to change your mind one way or the other.
I agree.
You think the way you think for a specific reason. There's nothing that I'm going to say in the span of 3 minutes that's going to change your mind.
That's true. Hey, bro, hold on 1 second, bro. I'm so sorry. Hold on 1 second.
Got the dog.
1 second, man.
You good? You good? So yeah, man, I believe that. Like, there's not much you can say that's gonna. You either believe one thing or you don't. You either believe in Jalen Hurts or you don't. If you don't believe in Jalen Hurts, if you don't believe Jalen Hurts is any good, there is nothing that I can show you, no stat that I can show you, no clip that I can break down that will change your mind. If he has a great game, then whatever, you'll have every excuse of why he was carried. If he has a bad game, then it was all his fault. Nothing that happens that can change your mind in that situation. And unfortunately, that's how a lot of people think. They don't want to go to the next level. It is what it is. Nothing you see, regardless of if it's crystal clear or not, is going to change somebody's perspective on a lot of these situations. And they're just kind of hardwired like that nowadays. Nobody wants to discuss it. Nobody wants to admit that they were wrong. And so they'll die on that hill.
Yeah, sorry about that, brother. I was holding it and I was like, damn, this is getting critical.
It's all good, bro.
I'm sitting here like, yo, I'm bouncing back and forth like, yo, somebody save me.
Crazy.
Oh man. But no, like the LeBron thing, look, at the end of the day, man, he paid his dues to this league, man. Obviously, you get the opportunity to write the final chapter of your book any way you see fit. I just don't think if he's making a basketball decision and he's trying to win the championship and go out in a blaze of glory, you're not doing that in Cleveland. I don't think he believes in a James Harden version of Cleveland. There's some guys who are just not winning players.
No.
And as much as I respect James Harden and what he's done in his career, James Harden is just not a winning player. He's just
I want LeBron here because if LeBron is here, Joel Embiid is off the court for half the time. And there's a better opportunity for him to be healthy down the stretch.
Yeah.
That's why I want LeBron here.
Bring up Eagle Dynasty's post. He literally just put it up. I think it's the most recent one. He brings up a good point. And I talked about this. who knows if this is who knows if this is going to be LeBron's last season? But at the end of the day, if he's thinking about if he's trying to put himself in a situation where he could win now and even and buy himself an extend his career for an extra year or maybe two, the Sixers is where you go. Like he said, the Eagles dynasty, the 76ers starters, the contracts all ended 2028. LeBron has a shot for 3 more championships if he signs with the 76ers through 2028.
Yeah, but we'll see. I believe that.
I think this is last season, by the way, though. I think this is the last one.
No, I think LeBron wants to stick around to see. He wants to have the opportunity to play with both his kids. That's what I think he's doing.
I forgot about Bryce.
Yeah. And a lot of people think Bryce is better than Bronny.
I think Bryce is I've always thought this is up since they was little tykes. You know what I'm saying? Since they was not even. I always felt like I think Bryce is the player. I'm not saying Bronny can't. Bronny can play basketball, but
there's a lot of people on NBA teams right now that are worse than Bronny.
Oh, for sure. But the name makes it. You know, it does.
Absolutely.
That's what it is, right? Like just how there's a bunch of quarterbacks in this league who we know are not winning quarterbacks or as good a quarterbacks as Jalen Hurts, but who gets talked about.
I think Bronny would have did himself a lot more favors if he'd have stayed in school for a whole year.
Just one more year, right? It didn't like obviously he had the heart condition that happened, and you know he's doing way better now. But I think like I would have to agree with you. I think people would have respected the path a little bit better if he ended up playing. Like with all due respect to Bronny, he didn't have the Kyrie Irving effect, where Kyrie Irving played like 2 or 3 games that people already knew.
They knew what it was.
They knew what it was. He was going number one. He was going number one if he ain't laced it up once. There's just certain Bronny didn't come in with that. So I thought, I don't know. I don't want to use the word misguided, but I thought it was a little overzealous for him to come out as soon as he did. But it is what it is. You know, you write your own path, you write your own story.
I ain't mad at him.
You write your own story, you chart your own path, excuse me. And it is what it is. Last topic before we get out of here. ESPN firing Ryan Clark, Cam Newton, and a bevy of other people that we probably won't ever know about. You know, obviously the names like Ryan Clark and Cam Newton lead the headlines, but guys like Cam Newton and Ryan Clark are going to be okay. There's people who are lesser than them, producers.
I thought the biggest surprise was Carl Ravage.
There's people who don't make as much as them, who don't have the pedigree of being former players, whatever it is, who like they got to figure it out now.
Yeah.
And that's always a shame. So you pray for those people, you wish those people well. But the Ryan Clark angle is interesting because they fired him quite literally while he was on NFL Live.
Yeah.
And then
the show that he helped bring an Emmy to.
Multiple times, by the way. He's coming off of an Emmy-winning year. So you can't tell me it's because he didn't deliver. You can't say it's about ratings because people watching NFL Live. And the Darren Orlovsky, Ryan Clark, Mina Kimes, Laura Rutledge combo was undefeated in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion, because even if you didn't agree with everything they said, I still felt like we're talking football though. We're not trying to make a scene here, but we're going to entertain you while still getting into the X's and O's, while still having some fun football and reasonable football talks. And frankly, I don't think it had anything to do with the money part because they're still paying him.
Yeah.
I think it had everything to do with just how he carries himself as a brother in that building, unapologetically.
Yeah, he's definitely that, and he's had some takes that took it to a place where I don't think they were comfortable with. You know, you're gonna get that now when you got somebody with the power that he's got. A lot of people don't like it, but at the same token, a lot of people don't like the stuff that Pat McAfee was doing, and he's still doing his thing. So it all comes to, it's same as it ever was. It all comes down to what you are comfortable dealing with, because we've seen a lot worse. When it comes to scandals and all of that type of stuff, there's been a lot worse things and a lot worse people involved with ESPN than Ryan Clark. So I think it'll be ESPN is on a struggle bus anyways.
Here's the thing,
They're on a
right?
struggle bus anyways, man. They're mobile is social media is the number one way to receive your content now on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that type of stuff. That's the number one way to get it. Ain't nobody sitting in front of a television no more. In the morning, you checking your text messages, you checking your emails, you get your alerts from your favorite website, and then you keep it moving. Terrestrial media is they gone the way of the damn DVD, man.
Yeah, man. And by the way, like, you got to keep in mind what the Ryan Clark thing is. They gave him a new contract in 2024, knowing exactly what he stands for.
Yo, that was up to that point. That was the best video I ever did on my channel.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Was the Ryan Clark. I got like 55,000 views in a day. I was like, yo, I done made it. Like,
but like they re-upped him.
Yeah,
he been with ESPN since 2015, and they got
and that was kind of a misnomer because he hadn't got fired. He was just renegotiating. So he was going through the process, and everybody put out like he had gotten fired. It was like, nah, he ain't get fired.
Same thing with Darren Orlovsky.
Negotiation table.
Darren Orlovsky signed his new deal in 2025, I think it was. But like the point is, like, everything about his morals, his politics was out there. He never threw a stone and hit his hand. And what I mean is, you knew exactly who he was. He was a straight shooter. You knew exactly what he stood for and how he carried it to the point, and you re-upped him nonetheless. And
everybody wants to bring up the Peter Schrager thing.
That's a distraction. I don't think
it is.
I don't think that has anything to do with why he got fired. But if we're gonna address that, right? I think Ryan Clark has more value than Peter Schrager.
Absolutely.
But who's controllable? Who plays ball? Who doesn't?
That's it in a nutshell.
At the end of the day, it always comes down to, can they control you? The more money they pay you, the more they want control over you.
They put rules on.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on what they want to do. It'll be interesting because they got the Super Bowl for the first time in their history. ESPN was going to telecast the Super Bowl, where ESPN isn't, but ABC is. ABC owned, Disney owned everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I think whoever they replace him with better be good.
Yeah, man. And then Pat McAfee just re-up for $60 million. Whew.
Man, I ain't mad at Pat McAfee at all. Pat McAfee bet on himself and won.
I mean, he built that thing. He
built it brick by brick by himself. Because when he first got started, everybody was quick to call him the idiot. They didn't know what they were watching. And he's one of them ones that recognized the way the trend was turning before anybody else did.
That is true.
ESPN is going the way of Toys R Us. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, Toys R Us was one of the last big brick and mortar toy stores. Yeah. But they were one of the last ones to go to having websites and doing online business. And they went the way of the dodo bird. And by the time they did get online, it was too late. Amazon
it was way too late.
Amazon had taken up. Amazon undercut everybody. Amazon was undercutting people on purpose. They knew they were taking the L's on the merchandise, but they knew they were going to make it up in the back end because they were getting all of the business. It's funny how this generation has no idea that there was a point in time where the only thing Amazon sold was books.
Yes, and that's how you get the streets. You give out some samples. You take some L's those first few weeks when you're trying to get your name on the streets, and then eventually, they come knocking, and they realize, damn, like he was showing mad love. I'm gonna go over to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the day, man, like, I think more of the story is, because again, Ryan Clark and Cam Newton are gonna be okay. I think the more of the story is, make sure you always got your own platform. to pour into.
Absolutely.
Because they can never control you then. When you got your own platform, you build your own base and your own support, they can never control you. They never can. They can try in other innocuous ways, right? But ultimately, when you build your own platform, you're always going to be able to control your own narratives. Yo, that first pivot episode after the firing is going to hit like crack in the 80s. I'm telling you, that pivot episode,
it's gonna be the new Cat Williams interview.
Because you know he gonna give it up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know he gonna give it up.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
that is the new Cat Williams video. So
yeah,
good for him. Get it. Get your money.
That's gonna be interesting.
I ain't mad at you. Somebody will snatch him up though. He's too good. He's too good. Unless it's a situation where he just doesn't want to.
And he's an orator. He's an orator. He know how to communicate. Hey, don't be surprised if Shay give him a call and say, "Hey, yo, like, come on the couch. I want to talk to you."
Absolutely. Make that money.
For sure.
Make that money.
Yeah, man. We appreciate y'all for locking in, man. We covered a bevy of topics. You know, it's the off season, so we're gonna have some fun with it. And you know, I've also just been thinking about, you know, I think it'll do us justice, just like spread our wings, no pun intended, a tick more, and just covering the world of sports and just giving our honest opinions. Because what I'm noticing now is people aren't just talking about sports anymore on their platforms. I mean, I've always noticed this, but it's just something I'm communicating. But people aren't just talking about sports on their platforms now. Like, they're talking about sports, but they're talking about pop culture, talking about everything, movies, films, everything. You know, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you guys stay locked in. We appreciate y'all. Continue to smash that like button. Oh, I knew it was something I wanted to ask you. Did you see the Odyssey yet?
No.
Oh my God. When I say it was one of the best it's the best film experience I've had since going to see Sinners and Weapons.
Wow.
And like, I mean, Christopher Nolan, I already felt like he was one of the greatest directors of his generation, one of the greatest directors of all time, but specifically his generation, just to be, you know, not be overzealous. But I'm watching this film and I'm just thinking about, like, and I start thinking about his catalog. Like, I'm like, is there anybody who has a stronger catalog than Christopher Nolan? Is there anybody
these days? No.
Is there anybody?
I would give different genre, but I would give what's your boy from Weapons? Matt Eggers.
Oh yeah. Is it Robert Eggers? I think
Robert Eggers, because everything he's doing is knocking out of the park, and in the horror genre, which doesn't always happen.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. Robert Eggers didn't do Weapons. Robert Eggers did Nosferatu. He did The Witch. He did The Lighthouse, The Northman. He's another person. He's another person who has a catalog that's crazy.
Yeah.
But the person who did Weapons, is what's my man's name? The man's name is Zach Kreger.
Zach Kreger.
So
sounds
similar. So there's Robert Eggers, and then there's Zach Kreger, right? Zach Kreger is actually doing the new Resident Evil.
Yes. Now I saw that trailer and I was like, I'm interested.
Yes.
Yo, did you see? Did you see? Yo,
Green Wingman. Yes, I saw
Hello,
the
Mommy. Other Mommy.
I saw the trailer for that. Oh my God,
bro, that made me jump when she was underneath that table, dog.
That looked
I was like
crazy.
Come on, I don't know Jessica Chastain in that vein. I don't like it.
Yeah, and I like Jessica Chastain, but Zach Kreger, he's doing Resident Evil, but I'm just thinking about, and yes, Green Women. I have seen. I literally just seen The Furious on Sunday. I watched it with my dad before I came back to Texas. The Furious Kung Fu movie, phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal. Like, I mean, the cinematography, the fight scenes, but more so stylistically, what they had them doing in that movie, the fight choreography, some of the most unique fight choreography I've seen in quite some time.
Check it out.
Probably the most unique fight choreography I've seen since John Wick 1. Because what made John Wick 1's fight choreography, in my opinion, so unique was how the realism in it.
It was all CQC.
You saw a guy fighting like a 40-plus-year-old. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So like it's sometimes you see these movies and they try to convince you. Perfect example, Equalizer, right? I love Equalizer. Don't get me wrong. I love all of them. I'm a sucker for them. But you're not convincing me that Denzel's 60, 70 years old fucking these guys up.
I believe it. I think he could do it.
But I'm buying it though, because I'm an Equalizer guy. I'm buying it all the way.
But so you're not buying Denzel, but you buying Queen Latifah?
No, fuck no. I wasn't buying Queen Latifah when they put it on the billboard. I love Queen Latifah to death. Shout out to the Queen, man. I love The Holiday. I love Deliver Us. I'm tripping. I love Bringing Down the House with Steve Martin and Queen Latifah. I love me some Queen. I love Living Single. I love UNITY. I love her. But I wasn't buying that.
No.
The Raid. Oh my God. Yes, The Raid. That's another one.
The Raid is nasty.
From a kung fu movie perspective, probably The Furious is probably the most unique fighting I've seen since The Raid from a kung fu movie perspective.
I think the movie that took
The Raid changed the game. The Raid changed the game.
The Raid changed the game, but before that, Crouching Tiger. That changed the game.
And
that changed the game.
What's the joint with my man Tony Jaa? He was trying to say the elephants.
I don't know. I know Tony Jaa, but I don't know what that movie was.
Is it Tony Jaa? He was trying to say the elephants. What's that movie? That changed the game too.
Linda, I am not watching House of the Dragon. And it's weird because I'm a Game of Thrones fan. I read the books, and but I'm not watching it.
He said, I'm not watching it.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not watching it because I'm angry at it. I just haven't watched it.
Right.
There's a couple of things that I've been thinking about. This Widow's Bay is supposed to be pretty good. I watched the first 2 seasons of From. I kind of want to catch up with that again, but I say all of that and I end up making YouTube videos all damn day, man. So, it is what it is.
Oh, man. We appreciate The Protector. Thank you. The Protector. Thank you so much, you guys. Wait, was that Tony Jaa? I probably got it wrong. That probably wasn't Tony Jaa. That wasn't Tony Jaa, was it? Now my brain is. Oh, Tom Yung Goong. Sorry. My bad, Alf. My bad, Alf. You're right. That wasn't Tony Jaa. That wasn't Tony Jaa at all. My apologies. My bad.
All right. I gotta go. I gotta get ready for this post-game show.
Yeah. We appreciate y'all for locking in.
Well, real quick. Tomorrow night, 9:00, Pro Fan Talk, Barrett Brooks. Barrett Brooks is stopping by. He's gonna holler at your boy.
Ooh,
so
I'm locking in on that.
For sure. So tomorrow night, in about 20 minutes, I'm gonna have my Indiana Fever post game on Pro Fan Hoops. So I'll be getting into that in a minute. So staying busy, bro.
Yeah, man.
Staying busy.
For sure. I'm staying busy as well. Anyway. Oh, it was Tony Jaa. So anyway, y'all killing me. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. As always, love. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the energy. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys continue to stay subscribed to both channels. Subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. Subscribe to Chalk It Up Sports. He's Coach Marcus, also known as Marcus Thomas. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II. You guys have been locked in on the Bald Eagles podcast. Eagles training camp is around the corner. Stay locked in. And as always, fly, Eagles, fly.
Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Fly guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by.